Welcome back to the Sinker Guy Garage. Today we're going to learn how to make a float rig. The one that I used in the previous video, it works. It's one of the local experts has taught me how to use this rig. I became very good at it. It's definitely one for the boat, definitely one for the surf, or just dock fishing. So go ahead and hit subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you like this, but go ahead and hit subscribe. There is a rod giveaway coming up here soon. Okay, components to making a float rig. We need a bobber stop. We also need 3 beads. I like the smaller diameter bead there. These are glow beads. You're going to need a 5-ounce float. You can get them with a cut or without. A 1-ounce sinker, a swivel if it's a big one or a small one, and then a wide bend hook. And then you're going to need some fluorocarbon or mono, whatever you choose. So we're going to go through this real quick. It's going to be short and sweet. I love fishing the Shimano Stratic. We're going to start with a bead, with the bead stop. So we're just going to put that through there just like that. Pretty simple. And just pull that onto the line. And you can see that it's just going to be on the line. So there's a couple different styles. You can use a rubber band, you can use this style, but this is the one I prefer. And it's just a rubber bead. Now it just slides up and down your line, if you see that. Pretty easy and simple. So I'm going to slide that out of the way so I don't have to deal with that anymore. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to number one, put my bead on so my bobber stop does not catch in the top of my bobber. So that's the big thing there. So I'm going to then put my bobber on, or my float. If you're from the Midwest, it's a bobber. If you're down here, it's a float. It goes through, sometimes it doesn't. And there we are. Super simple. That's going to go to the top. And so then my weight doesn't get stuck on the end. And there's some other tricks here too, but I'm just going to share the super simple. I'm going to just push this through there real easy. Okay, and then I'm going to put my 1-ounce, 5-inch float will go with a 1-ounce weight. So if you're using a smaller float, as there are some right here, the 4-incher, but these are all unweighted floats. And the difference between the weighted and the unweighted is the weighted puts the weight here, and we actually want the weight to be drastically lower than the float itself. So this is just a technique. So then I'm going to put another bead on so my weight can slide up and down if need be. And then I'm going to tie my swivel. You can use small swivels like these, or I just use the number 2 Tsunami, and I use just a little, I call it a bass knot. It's a polymer knot. Very easy. 2 times through, boom, and there we are. And then I'm going to just cut this off. And now we've got the float part done. Got the float part done, and this is what it's going to look like. So if I'm looking from the top, it's going to be hanging, and when this float comes up at the top, it's going to be up here. This weight is going to be down below, under the surface, under the water surface. So when you think about that, we want the weight underneath, way below the bobber or the float. Number one, we don't want the float to be having a bunch of weight. We want it underneath to stand it up. So that being said, that all this will slide down to your swivel and hold. Now the next thing, there's different types of weights that you can use. You can use a trout weight, or you can use this. Now, I know some of you are going to call me out because I had 2 of these on the other day on mine, and that was just because of necessity. I didn't have a 1-ounce sinker in my bag for some reason, so I used 2. Now, when you're fishing for different fish, different size fish, we have a wide bend hook. This is one of my favorite hooks, the wide bend number 6. This is the absolute best hook, I think, for trout fishing. Is the number with a wide bend number 6. You're going to be able to get this on this at thesinkerguy.com. And then if you're wanting a little bit bigger hook, obviously you can see these here. Is you've got the 6, the 4, and then the 2. The 4 is going to be redfish. Obviously, what size redfish, flounder, and the 6 is going to be good enough for those trout. 90% of the trout. There's some big gator trout out there, but I'm going to choose here. If I'm going to fish a live mullet, I'm going to use a 4 or a 2, size 2. So a little bit of information. So wide bend, you're going to be able to get the 6 or the size 6 at the Sinker Guy store. Now we use fluorocarbon. Seaworks is a local company here in Jacksonville. Great company. They make 25-pound fluorocarbon. Obviously, you saw me pick up the polymer from Amazon. You'll be able to use my Amazon affiliate link to be able to get some of that. And if you do that, I do get credit for that, and I appreciate that. But this line, I really like it also. But we're going to go with the local today, and I'm going to just use 25-pound test. And what a lot of people ask is, well, how far? How much line do you want on there? And that being said, that is the main question. And I had my rubber band there. There we are. How much is the question? And that's when you're fishing. That's when you need to determine that number. So you have to determine how far. I like 2 to 3 feet. So I'm going to use the number 6, and I'm going to snell this hook. So I'm just going to go right in there. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to grab it just like that. I grabbed it. Its hook's not in me. I'm going to then cut my line at about 24 to 32 inches. It's all preference on what you want to do, and also how much you want. The distance that you have this, the length of this is how much the mullet or shrimp can swim around. It can go up and down, but it'll swim a circle. Also, you want to tag this, cut that tag off. If that little line pokes a trout in the mouth, it will not bite. So then you can do a couple. You can just use the regular way that you want to tie on here. Another way to make this easy when you're fishing here is I like the double overhand or the surgeon's knot. I haven't seen it to be much of an issue with the size of the moor in the water at that level, so I've been able to catch fish. It's just a double overhand. If you've watched my channel before, you'll see that. It's just a surgeon's knot. I'm gonna just cut that tag off. And one reason I kind of like a little bigger swivel is for this. So I just put this through there, and I take my hook right through there. So if I get bit off, I still can just remove that. So I'll take a bunch of these the same length to the beach. So right there, simple, hooked up, and that is how you make the float rig. Super simple. You're ready to rock and roll. You've got all your supplies. You will be able to pick up about 90% of these supplies on the online store here very soon. Well, hopefully that's helped you learn how to make a float rig. One of the big things is a lot of people have different suggestions. Go ahead and put those down below. Hit subscribe, put those what you feel is the best. Go ahead and help the other anglers on this channel. Also learn a little bit by reading along. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Go ahead and enjoy it, and go ahead and subscribe. There is a big giveaway coming up. Good luck to all. Tight lines. Hey, Miss Ruby, tell them bye. All right, she winked at you.